Good evening everyone, and welcome to Mystery Monday live here on Facebook, and thank you if you're catching the replay or watching it on YouTube. My name is Lucia Visentin and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. Lovely to see you. As you hop on, do say hi. I would love to know who is about and who's watching with me. And if you're crafting along or if you are just watching, would be lovely. I hope you all had a gorgeous weekend. We had a very quiet weekend, beginning of holidays here, so just a bit of a regroup and get ourselves sorted for the holidays, and get some lists written of things to do mainly. So that was our weekend. Last chance products have been updated, so if you're after any bargains, do hop on. There are some good sales there. One thing to watch out for is if you are looking at bundles, perhaps check to see what the items are individually. A lot of the times it's better actually buying the stamp set and the dies separately. You'll get a better deal, so just do be careful and see what the prices are. Hello Fiona, how are you? And I do have the new catalogues here. Haven't sent them out yet. I will send them out at the end of next week, because they don't actually go live until beginning of May. So it's still ages away anyway, and I just want to get a few things sorted to pop in there for you as well. Good evening, Vicky, and hi, Glenda. So I will get them out to you. Don't fret, but it will be just a little while before I do. And the other thing I did want to let you know about is a global event. I don't know whether I told you last time. There is a virtual album retreat that Stampin' Up are putting on. It is for customers and demos alike, and it goes from the 17th till the 19th of July. So it's over 3 days, and you actually get to do 12 double-page spreads of scrapbooking. So if you are into scrapbooking and would like some more information, like I said, it's still a while away, even this one, let me know, and as I receive more information, I can give you more information on that as well, because it does look like it is going to be fantastic. It is called, and I haven't written it down, 12 months something or other. It's seasonal anyway, and you're doing each month of the year as well, so it is a whole album for a year. Hello Renee, and hi Natalie. So they're kind of the things that are happening Stampin' Up wise. Now I will show you a few little goodies that I have. I've bought a couple of online exclusives, which have been on the online store for a little while, but they are new to me. And I am going to be using the Impressions Abloom again, which will be coming up in the new catalogue as well. So I will pop you over and we will have a look at what we will be using. So and we'll just get in a little bit closer. There we go. Okay, so these are the dies that I am using, which I have shown you before. Oops, and the stamp set. Oh, sorry, that's very glary. And that's the stamp set there. And this is gorgeous. I do love all the dies in this. There are so many little, like all the little flowers in it. The leaves are gorgeous, and the detail in the veins of the leaves, and also the flowers. Like, it is just gorgeous. The insides of the flowers as well, and like even these little leaves here. Like, the detail is fantastic. You do have an oval die. There is one die that cuts out a border, as well as you get the negative, which is the inside. Or if you want to put the border on something, it cuts another oval that you can actually pop the border on as well. So that is that one there. Now the two things I'm going to use, excuse me, which I have only just got, is the Painted Stripes, which is a lovely watercolour effect without actually having to do any watercolouring, which is brilliant for me. And these ones here are the Textured Notes dies. Let me pull them out of the plastic. But can you see the detail on the edges of these? So they all cut different edges. I think one of them is doubled up. So the one I'm using tonight is the third smallest, but it's got the same pattern as the larger one there. Hi Patty, how are you? So anyway, I will show you that as well when we get to it. And I am actually going to make, because I'm using quite a large die, which is this one here, and I am going to make it a little bit smaller, and I'm going to show you how you can make it smaller and still get that edging to be seamless as well. So let's pop those aside and I'll show you what I'm using. So I am going to make a fancy fold tonight, and I'm going to do an easel card. So I've got my card that measures 29.7 by 10.5. So I've just cut my A4 cardstock in half. I have scored it in half, which is at the 14.85. And I will just burnish that. And then I have scored it again halfway through the front at 7.4. And again, give that a nice good burnish. So my other bits are the insides of my card. So I have got a Lost Lagoon, and the Lost Lagoon is 14.15 by 9.8. And then I have a white mount for that as well, which is 13.85 by 9.5. And that is going to go inside our card. And then for the outside of our card, there's this one here, which I will stamp on. And then these two pieces will be the mounts, and they are 9.8 by 6.7. Hello, Joan, Helen, and Anita. How are you all? So what I might do is we'll start off with this one here that I'm going to stamp. And I have to apologise because I have got my Stampin'Up out, only because I don't have a large block. So the Stampin'Up is going to have to do, I'm afraid. I have made my piece of card a little bit longer, cardstock, just so that I can still put my magnet at the bottom of it. Okay, just going to put that stamp set under there to give it a little bit of stability. And I'm just going to cover that with ink. Now I have got quite a juicy ink pad here, so I'm thinking it's going to be quite dark, but that's okay. So bring that over and we'll just give that a nice amount of pressure. And that's it there. So it does give that nice sort of mottled effect there. I'm just going to grab my chamois just so I can clean my stamp. So all done. Get rid of that. Straight in the drawer so it's away, and I have to remember the stamp's actually on that. So on this one here, So I've stamped my stripe. This one here I've actually done at 9.5 by 14.85. So it's the same length as a regular card. But I am going to cut this into 2 pieces. So with this one here, I am going to cut it in 2 pieces that are 6.4 centimetres. I don't know whether you can see the bottom of that trimmer there. So 6.4 and 6.4. We do actually have a block that's big enough with our Stampin' Up blocks. So there are blocks like this which will fit that background stamp on, and it used to tell you on the stamps what block to use, but it doesn't. I will go through the catalogue later and I'll tell you what size block it was. I'm going to say F, but I could be wrong. And of course the only catalogue I have next to me is the new one, so let me just have a quick little flick through that. Let's see if I can quickly find it for you. Let's see if I can get it in the index. 111. Yep, it is F. So F is 12.4 by 15.2. Thanks, Fiona. 12.4 by 15.2. Which is plenty big enough. Thank you, Glenda and Fiona. Like I said, I don't know why I've never purchased it, but I don't actually have it. And I think it's because I had my Stamparatus originally that I just didn't worry about it at all. So what I might do first is we might just stick these down, and then I can pop them on the front of the card. So like I said, I've got that Lost Lagoon, which is quite a contrast with the pink. I think it actually looks quite pretty with it. So we'll pop those on. And then I've got a couple of little techniques to show you as well. Good evening, Jackie. How are you? Hope you're well. So that Tombow glue is brilliant, because if you don't get it central that first time, you've got that little bit of wiggle room, which is always nice to have. That's where the seal and the tear and tape is a little bit different. Once you pop that down, that's it, it's stuck generally. Okay, so they're done, but I might do the inside as well. So then that's done also. And stick that on top. And I have done it, so it is just, it's actually 3 millimeters bigger. So there's probably a little bit bigger of a border than I would usually have on that. But because it was such a contrast, I did want it to stand out a little bit more, so I did make it that tad bigger. So we'll stick this on the inside. Oops, just moved it. Beautiful. And then we can pop these on the front. Sorry, just putting it there first, just so that I know. There you go, and they were 9.8 by 6.7. The Lost Lagoon. Thanks, Jackie. We're all well here. So much better now that, well, not so much better, but it's always nice when it's holidays in the house. It's a little bit more of a relaxed feel. And even with the boys not at school, it's still got that nice relaxing feeling during the holidays. Actually, talking about holidays, I won't actually be on next Monday because John and I will actually be away for the holidays. So unfortunately no live next Monday, but we'll make up for it the week after. Okay, so they are on. So that's the base of our card. So that is what it's going to do. So what we will need is something here to keep it sitting up and something for the front of our card. So let's bring in the few things here I have to die cut. So I have the new rectangles, the new textured notes dies that I'm going to do, and I have the flowers from the Impressions Abloom. Now with these flowers, there's this center bit that's got the texture on it and this little bit on the outside that actually cuts it out. So you do have to use them both together if you want that textured bit in the center. You can just use the flower, and if you were stamping that flower, which is this one here, you can actually just use this to cut it out, and that would cut it out beautifully. And you could still use the texture in the middle of it too. We might give that a go another time too, because that might look good with it stamped as well, and that bit extra texture. So a bit of a double lot of texture there. So what I'm going to do with these is just so that that center and the middle bit don't move too much, I am going to put a little bit of tear and post-it note tape on it. And we'll pop this one down too. Really fit, yes. Just, we will, thank you, Anita. Just a couple of days away, that's all, but obviously just over when I'll be doing my live. So I just thought this time I don't think I'll even worry about it. We'll just have a little bit of a break. Okay, and then that's the little center of the flower. We'll just cut them all out at once, and then I can pop that at the bottom there. So I'll just bring over my cutting emboss. Nice shiny new plates. So I have number 1, number 2, number 3, and another number 3. What I always do is I keep one at the bottom that I cut on that gets all the imprints on it. Make sure you turn it occasionally as well. And then I use my other one on the top, and I try and keep that one as clean as I can so it doesn't mark the cardstock at all. Oops, and he's just gone flying. Pop him back on. Put him there. I'm just going to pop it on a little bit of an angle, just so this rectangular one goes through nice and easily. If you put it through on an angle, it just means all the pressure's not on that straight edge then as well. So all the way through. Here we go. You might just keep that one out for now. And we'll take all those out in a minute. come out. So what I wanted to show you with this one is how to make it a little bit smaller. So I do want to pop a sentiment inside of it, and I am going to pop I appreciate you, but it's quite skinny, and that's actually quite a large label for that skinny sentiment. So that's the sentiment there. So what I want to do is I want to bring it down. So I don't know whether you can see, but the cross hatches go across and then up and down, across and then up and down. So my last one on the end here is going across. So I want to sit it on the one that's going across. So the one on top of it's going up and down, and then the one that it's sitting on is going across. So I know I can just turn that over, and that should be spot on. So let's see if I bring my machine back again. And we'll pop that through. So there's the bit that is cut off. Can you see? Completely seamless. You can't even tell that it's been shortened. So all sorted. So I'll pop that over there, get rid of our die. Okay, and then we've got all of these little bits, so let me show you these. So that's already come out. So it cuts the flower, and then you can see all the embossing, which is what this other little piece on the inside does, all those little cuts in it. Same with this one. Just the detail in it is just beautiful. And that one there. So they're all cut out. The other thing I've pre-done is my ovals. So there are 2 oval dies. Okay, if we flip them round, you can see that one just has 1 cutting edge, the other has 2. So the one with 2 actually cuts out this beautiful silver frame, and then the other one has just cut out the oval. Hello Kay, how are you? Sorry, I've not even been looking at my messages. It is really good cutting those dies down, isn't it? I mean, you could do it with all sorts of things. So like even the ovals, you could actually run that through and make a shorter oval as well. So there's all sorts of things that you can do that with. So we'll just put those aside. So as I was saying, if you're wanting to pop this onto something, this is when I actually cut out the other oval, because the other oval is just a little bit bigger, but not quite big enough to go to the outside of the small white one. So what I'm going to do is use my silicone mat, which we used last week. I'm going to get my glue, and I'm just going to dab some little bits of glue all around the inside of this frame. But I'm not going to stick it down yet. I'm actually going to let it dry a little bit, so then it's not quite as oozy and as tacky. So we'll just pop that aside for a little while, and I will get, oh, I can actually do this bit first too. I will get my oval, which is what I'm going to stick on that, but I do want to just blend a little bit of the Pretty in Pink in the middle of it. So while that frame is drying, we can do this. Sorry, I think I've just bumped you. And we'll just get a little bit of that pink happening. So I'm just pressing ever so lightly to begin with so I don't get a really dark blobby bit in the centre, and that's also why I take a little bit off on my glass mat as well, just so I don't get that blobby bit to begin with. Okay, I think that's probably enough. It's a nice little bit of pink on the inside there. The silicone mat, I actually went searching for it online. So if you search for, I think it was silicone craft mat, it will come up. And I think it was $11.50 was the price. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop it down this way. And I'm just putting it where those dots are, because it lines up beautifully inside of that. Okay, and lift it up and you've got that beautiful bit of silver around it then. So the other thing I wanted to do was just splatter a little bit of water on it. I'll keep that open over there. I might even just spritz a bit of water actually. I might do it from, I'm just using one of our spritzers, but I'm going to do it from quite high. So I might just be a little bit off. And what that will do is where the water hits it, it will actually take some of the colour off. It's probably better in bigger drop. Oh, you can probably just see it, I don't know. It's just made a little bit of a difference. And wink of Stella while we're going, before we do anything else. Give it a little bit of a sprinkle there. There you go, that one works better. Oh, my lid's just fallen off. Alrighty, so we will pop that aside, let that continue to dry, and we'll bring these bits in. And now I'm just going to, in the centre of these, put a little bit of pink. I'm just going to do it with my blending brush first, but then I'm going to go in with my dauber, because I find the dauber gave it a lot more detail. That's probably a bit big for, probably need the little blending brush on that tiny flower. So let's go in with my dauber now. And as I come up, you'll see the extra detail that this is going to bring out. Hi Jenny, how are you? I hope you're not in bed because you're unwell, you're just in bed because you're tired, because I must admit it feels like it's about 10 o'clock tonight. So see how it just, with those little veins in it, the dauber just picks it up beautifully and brings out all those little veins. Now, sometimes the daubers are great because they're a little bit more concentrated. You can get them exactly where you want them as well. Let's even get the colour where you want it. And I think this one I've done a little bit too dark. That's okay. We will go with it. So the other thing that I did cut out, and I've cut them out off camera, were just the little leaves as well. So they still come in that die set. Actually, I might cut another one of those out. He does look a little bit awful. Sore, but okay, that's good. Not good that you're sore, good that you're okay. So I'm just going to get a little bit of my Lost Lagoon, and I'm just going to brush it from the bottom of the leaves up. So they're not going to be very dark. But again, because there's so many veins in this, it does pick up the ink really well. And let me show you the difference between them both. I don't know whether the camera's picking that up, but there is quite a big difference there. Okay, we'll do that next one. And be a little bit gentle, so don't be too harsh on it, because these leaves are quite delicate as well. All those little veins, they're actually all split and cut all the way through. So if you do push too hard, they will break away. I'm just going to grab that other little die. I'm just going to cut one more of these off camera, if that's all right. There you go. This one won't be quite as splotchy. Just see if we can do it a little bit more delicately this time. I think I had so much on my dauber that it just went everywhere. There you go, that's a bit better. Now, I'm not too worried that the centre's not dark, because those little bits are actually going to cover the centre. So I did want to show you, where did my little centre bit go? May have lost him as well. Nothing. Oh, here we go. So what I wanted to show you with this is a little technique. Because I've got the silver around my oval, I wanted to pop these in the centre, but they're really quite stark, and so to change that I was just going to pop some silver around it. So let me show you how I did that. So I'm just going to get some tweezers and hold on to my inside of my flower, and just on my Versamark I am just dipping the edges in. Okay, that is all I've done, is the edges. Then I'm going to get my embossing powder, and I'm just dunking the whole thing in the embossing powder and tapping it off. Then I'm just going to use my heat gun. And we will emboss that. And I know I've only embossed a little bit of it, like 3/4. So what I will do now is just give it 2 seconds to cool down. If you do touch that straight away, it will be really sticky. Because it is melted plastic. So just give it a little chance to dry. So I've just turned it over, so I've got this side here that I haven't embossed yet. I'm just going to dunk that onto my Versamark, pop him in my embossing powder again, and we'll heat it up again. And there you go. Now I've got silver all the way around my little inside there. So let's close all that up. So we now have this. I've got some little bits here. So I will just pop all my insides in there, and I'll just use some glue dots And I've got my take your pick. Oh, actually, don't even need my take your pick tool. You know what I'll do is we'll just put our insides onto the glue dot. There, now you can't even tell that the middle of that wasn't quite as dark. He needs a little one. Pop a little one on him as well. So there are two sizes for the insides. So the two smaller flowers, I've put the smaller inside, and that larger flower, I've put the large one. I can give you a hand tomorrow, Natalie, if you haven't found it, but it is on the online store. I did search for it the other day. So the other thing I'm going to do is just give everything a little bit of shape. So I'm just going to, oh, see, really, really delicate they are. So try not to be too rough with it, because they will flip up. So as gentle as you can. And we'll put some more glue dots on here as well. So just there. I'm not going to put heaps on there because I don't think we need heaps. I'm just going to put a couple. Except for I got it stuck around the end of my take your pick tool. So 2 on that one. Then we'll go 2 on the other. So 1. And 2. I think I've just got a really gluey end of my take your pick tool. Do clean your tools. It makes it so much easier to use. There you go, it's all come off now. Thank you so much, Jackie. Much appreciated. So I'm going to pop one of these heading out in this direction a little bit, and the other one coming over this way. And I'm going to do the same with the flowers, just give those a little bit of shape as well. So I'm actually just curling the petals up. So just using that bone folder and putting the flower between my thumb and the bone folder and pulling it through like you would curling ribbon. So it just gives it that little bit of a lift. So we have some dimensionals. So we'll pop this one this way, pop him there, and I think we can fit a large dimensional behind both of these as well. And we'll go this one here. Whether to put it in front or behind it. Oh, actually, if we go this way, go that way, and then we can put this one up here. How's that? So then card. And the other thing I did was, there were some of those tiny, tiny weeny flowers there. I have cut them out in silver as well. So with those ones, we can give them a little bit of a lift as well, just by using our piecing mat. And I'm just going to go round and round the centre. And when it comes out, it's actually got, it's just lifted them ever so slightly. So that's a nice way just to get your petals to raise on smaller flowers. And same with this one. So I lifted him up nicely. And then, what else have I got? Set the flowers sitting down. Sorry, just reading some instructions. I don't want to forget anything. I will actually still pop this up on dimensionals, I think. But this is actually going to sit only on that bottom half. Okay, so I only want the dimensionals to be down past here. So let's just get a couple of dimensionals. We want to go below that line and below that line. And it gives it a nice amount of stick then. And we'll make sure that's straight. And then that will sit that way. I did emboss a tiny little thanks, which I might just pop at the bottom there. And I've got some dimensionals. You might just cut a little bit of the edge, pop him there. You can go there. Now with these ones, fill that little space there. So what I'm going to do with these is just put the glue straight onto my card. I find that the glue dots tend to flatten the flowers, so you've gone to all that trouble to give them a little bit of shape, and then they go down. Thank you, Glenda. I'll show you, I made one today with more subtle colours. And I actually like the one, I made two. I made one that was very subtle, and then I made one that was a lot more bold. So one that was very much my style, and then the other one, I actually got the colour combination of some of our up-and-coming papers. So I will show you that. And I will show you the paper that I got the inspiration from too. And I don't think we had any gold cord in our catalogue at the moment, so you could have put a little bit of silver cord on that somewhere. Ah, thank you, Kim. So last but not least, we do need to do our little bit here that we're going to keep it up on. So I have got this. I'm going to pop a mount behind it, but I am also going to emboss the I appreciate you. So I've got thanks on the front and then I appreciate you on the inside. So let me find my embossing buddy to give that a nice little go over. A bit of Versamark. We'll make sure that's as straight as I can get it. use some scrap paper to catch all that. Thank you, ladies. Thanks, Anisha. It's just, I'm nearly at the end of my embossing powder, so as soon as it's gone, I will get our new Wow embossing powder. I don't like to waste what I've got. I want to use it up until it's finished. So I did make sure that all my swaps had embossing on them so I could use it up. So I did go through a fair bit then. And let me grab my tweezers so I don't burn my fingers. Here we go. I do love a little bit of embossing. It's just got that gorgeous look about it, hasn't it? Nice and shiny. It's beautiful. I'm not going to turn it over straight away, just in case, like I said, if it's hot, you can just smudge it a little bit as well. Thank you very much, Nicole. Yeah, I think the embossing around the centre is just a nice touch. I just needed a little bit more silver, but I tried doing the centre silver and it was just too in your face with the whole centre silver. So then I decided just to roll it in the Versamark. Almost like the old rock and roll technique that we used to use with our stamps. Actually, that's something I haven't done for ages. We might do that with something. It's really lovely. You could use it with the flower stamps, and you actually stamp your flower in a light colour, and then you roll the edges in a darker colour. It gives you a really lovely effect. So then this will pop up on dimensionals and put in the card there. So then it's got somewhere to sit. So let's finish this off. And we could have also done a little bit of Wink of Stella on those flowers as well, of course. It does sound like a Thursday tips and tricks one. Absolutely. What about the silver? Oh, you know what? There's the druzy gems. They are huge. They would probably be perfect inside of these. We might give that a go. I will hunt them down and see what they look like. Thank you, Jackie. I had forgotten all about that. So we'll pop that down. So then that is where our card actually sits. Will be on that. So those gems are the druzy gems, which are these huge big boys here. So let's have a look. Let us see. You're actually still getting that nice silver around them as well. And then these big ones, I actually don't use these much because they are so big. But how's that? Now that's pretty blingy, isn't it? And that's our little card. Oh my God, you should see my mess. Far out. Let me clear the decks a little bit here. So then I can bring some other cards in. So the card I made up firstly was this one here. So still the Pretty in Pink, but I actually used the soft sea foam as the back. which is quite a light effect. And I didn't go quite as heavy on the insides of the flowers, but I did do a little bit right on the edges of the flower. And then for the inside of that one, I just did a little stamp, and I had a little bit of leftover from the side of the stripes that I put in there. But then I decided it needed something different, so I thought I would do the easel card. But this was the colours that I did it in. And I must admit, I've been wanting to use those colours for a little while, and this is where I got it from. So these papers, oops, I don't even know what they're called now. Let me find the backing. They are Beautiful Gallery, will not be available until the catalogue goes live. Those of you that are demonstrators can pre-order it though. But that was the colour of the paper. And I just thought I would do something that resembled that a little bit. So it's not quite as dark, and I've done more of the Timid Tiger. And then I have just done that on the inside. It's a very strong colour. This is one of the new in colours. And it is very bright, but I actually still, I'm not an orange girl at all, and I've got to start using it, so then I will become a little bit more accustomed to it. So I thought if I challenge myself to use these colours, then hopefully I will enjoy using them a bit more. And I do think with the Lost Lagoon, that is a really pretty combination. But like I said, both of those I think have turned out okay. And I could have put some more little flowers on the bottom of here as well. Oh, now this set is actually from the new catalogue, Joan. So available in May, so it's Impressions Abloom. It's actually not in the new catalogue, sorry. It is an online exclusive, but will come out at the same time as the new catalogue. So it will be the 6th of May that it will be available. But I have really loved it. I've used it a couple of times already now. And it is pretty, it really makes the orange pop, doesn't it? I do think that's a nice combination. Thank you, Kim. So that is it for today. I've got my class on Friday night, so I will see some of you Friday night. I do have a little bit of homework for you. It's nothing too strenuous. It's just pulling some of those pieces out of the die cut designer series paper. So I will show you which bits. I'll pop it on our group so that you know what bits to bring along with you. And again, no live on Monday. So I'll be back on Thursday, but you won't hear from me on Monday. So Thursday, I will do that rock and roll technique, and we will use this stamp again because I think this stamp is going to be really good for it as well. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you've taken something new away from it as well. And I will catch up with you all on Thursday, hopefully. Have a lovely week, and we will see you soon. Thank you, everyone. Much appreciated. Bye.